Liver is the only organ that has this regenerative ability. So you can take half of the liver and actually it starts growing right back to a full size.
Now that remarkable aspect of human biology just might be able to chip away at a big number in some new ways. And that big number is this one. It's 150. That's how many Minnesotans are waiting for a liver transplant. And now a team of Mayo Clinic surgeons and 4 patients have achieved a major milestone to perhaps save more lives. In a Mayo Clinic surgical room, the patient on the operating table did something remarkable.
I donated part of my liver to somebody that I've never met. It's not a common thing that people do.
Mike Broker is 1 in a million. He's a family doctor who's seen many of his own patients struggle with kidney failure.
One of my patients in particular had needed a living donor a few years ago, and that got me thinking about, well, I can't do it right now, but someday I could.
And he did. He donated a kidney to a patient he didn't know.
And she called me her angel.
Then, 2 years ago, he saw our story in Ted Garding. Ted was another altruistic donor who not only gave a kidney, but part of his liver, too.
That was the first time I actually became aware of living liver donation even as a thing.
Living donation really kind of helps fill the demand that's out there.
Correct.
Living liver donation is very much a thing. Dr. Timuchin Tanner at Mayo Clinic says the liver is the only human organ that will regenerate.
We can divide the liver in half from a donor, take that half and put it into a recipient. That half in the recipient starts growing right away and becomes a full liver within about 3-4 weeks.
Which brings us back into this Mayo OR and how Dr. Broder and Dr. Tanner made history.
We were able to do our first paired exchange liver transplantation, living donor liver transplantation at Mayo Clinic last month.
Paired exchanges are common in kidney transplants. They happen when a family member is not a perfect transplant match, so they're paired with another donor who is also an imperfect match for their recipient.
And if they're a good donor, despite that incompatibility, we can find another recipient who can use that piece of the liver. And that second recipient's donor, who may not be a match for that recipient, may actually donate to the initial recipient.
For me as a non-directed donor, they could kind of plug me in wherever they needed in the chain and then complete the loop.
This surgery in August took 3 hours to harvest the livers, another 4 hours to transplant. The entire paired exchange saved 2 lives. People like Dr. Broker are wonderfully giving.
These people are hard to find words for. They are true heroes. They are coming here to save somebody's life without expecting anything in return.
I don't feel like a hero. I feel like I've been very fortunate and blessed to have good health, and this was something that I could do and would do it again if I could.
And here's the best part of the story. Mayo tells me that both of the donors and both of the recipients have made full recoveries and they're doing well. In fact, Mike, he's a big marathon runner and he's now back to running again. And if becoming a living liver donor is something you might be willing to consider, you can find more information at Mayo Clinic. Just go to mayoclinic.org and then search for living donor transplantation. And if you have not made the commitment in becoming an organ donor or have not signed your driver's license, you can always make that commitment at life-source.org. They got all the information there for you.